So welcome back. We're here for our part 2 of Blood and Bone with Shannon Mato and Taz Rapana. We are going to be doing a Game 1 review.
Woo!
If we look tired, it's because we are.
It's because I'm pregnant. I'm taking that card.
I don't know what my excuse is, but man.
We got home at
was a big
2. We decided to go the scenic route.
Yes.
Trust Google Maps, everyone, because we ended up adding on an hour at a standstill on the way back. So
That was
plenty
like
of
a
time.
2-hour drive home. Put it that way.
2-hour drive home, and we left at 11:30.
Could
So-
have left earlier, but
Okay.
As
Queensland lost into a 2-hour think about it all the way home.
it wasn't into. It was actually there was.
Hold on. What happened before the 2-hour drive home? Shannon was squished into the back with my two sisters
sponsoring
punching
the tow
on.
company.
Oh, that annoyed me because she should have driven her own car.
But she couldn't drive in her own car because...
Got towed away.
And why did it get towed away?
Wow, Teaghan.
Oh, I knew it was
I
gonna come
did
back
get
on me.
someone to. I was like, "Hey, mate," I was boasting about where I parked my car, and then Teaghan's like, "Play on. That is a good park." Came out, your car's towed.
Okay, in saying this, so hold on. She's like, yes, I've clutched it. I said to her, she had to get, anyone that's been to corporate, she had to get the tickets from like corporate, Gate F. And so I was like, okay, I know where that is. We were at the levels stage, listening to Varney up on the stage at that time. So I'm like, sweet, it's all good. I'll come and meet you. Went around and she's like, yeah, I've got this park. At that time, I'm literally walking, like uploading stories to Instagram. And so I was like, yep, sweet. As I've walked around the corner, the sign's there. But then she's like, look at my car. And I'm like, oh, yeah, set, sweet. This is all good. Like, yeah, mad.
So she plays a part because
Yeah, I
she
did.
gave me validation of my parking.
It's the fact that she's trusted me when if Teaghan's said
Well, if it's
sweet.
Teaghan likes to know
Teaghan-
every little information. So I was like, if Teaghan's agreeing, I'm sweet. Let's go. Corporate, we on.
Well,
She's parked in the taxi zone. To give perspective, she's parked literally in the main taxi zone at the front of the side street of Suncorp. So, yeah.
you
we're
do
doing it.
understand that this lady is the master of all parking in the wrong places.
Well, I didn't look up the history.
I'm looking at getting as close to the vicinity as possible at all times. You best
100%.
believe I'm
Yellow
pushing the
line or
envelope.
not,
It's
that's
probably
her.
the most nonchalant
Yellow
thing I've
line,
ever
park
done.
on the gutter.
Yeah.
Like up onto
4-wheel
the...
drive in a van. You do the math.
To be honest, I think I was
Four-wheel
really
drive,
happy.
I'll convert it.
I was really happy to be at the game, and so I
Yeah.
was like, I actually, I
Let's
wouldn't
go
say
on
care,
to that.
but
Let's go on
yeah.
to that. Fan perspective.
Yeah.
You've obviously first game, as we said last time, since being picked. How did you find the game from a fan point of view? Because I seen it. You're obviously jumping out of your skin.
Yeah, I loved it. It was like my mum took me to an ice cream truck for the first time. I actually loved it. I thrived on the energy when I was there. I had to do a Q&A with some of the girls that play in Broncos, and honestly, I was just a little kid that had lots of ADHD, full of laughter. I went and visit you in the box beforehand. I'm like screaming.
Yeah,
You've
you're on a
seen it,
different
you've seen it,
level.
yeah.
You're on a
If
different level
anyone's
after
seen
that.
that
Yeah.
video that we uploaded on the story last night, that was it full game. NO unmatched, 100%.
If that
then it
doesn't
hit-
even
yeah.
give her energy justice.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it hit me when it was kickoff though. I cried. I was trying. I couldn't
Same.
cry at the national anthem because I could see you, and I was like, oh, that's such a beautiful moment.
I was crying
Yeah.
because I knew how emotional you were and I could see how hard you were like trying not to cry. And normally, you guys are obviously running out. I have been fortunate enough to watch a lot of your games from boxes, but always when you run out, I'll go down, I'll stand over the tunnel, and as you run out, I'm crying. You just singing national anthem, like ready to bang, I'm crying. I'm like a proud mother, and then I go back up to the box. Obviously, you were next to us, like where the box was, we were in the lounge right next to you. That's why I walked over, I'm like, oh, I really want to give you a cuddle right now, and then I just seen you like tongue on the roof
Yeah,
of the
when I
mouth,
see
watching
you.
the national anthem, like, yeah, Mike, are you good? No, okay. And me crying, I'm like, this is
Yeah,
the moment. It's a retirement
She's crying,
game
and I'm
one.
like looking at you, staying strong. So I was like, in between both, I was like, I want to cry, stay strong. And I looked at you and I was like, actually, I'm staying strong in this.
Yeah.
And then when it kicked off, I was like, oh my
I just
gosh,
think
I'm not catching the ball for the first time.
It was
It
like a
hit me.
surreal moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, you speak about like all your firsts, and that was obviously a big first for both Shan and I.
Yeah.
Not being a part of a part of the series or a part of game one.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously being in the box, you want to feel all the emotions, but at the same time, I think there's a time and a place to feel them. And not to say that in the coaching box it wasn't. I just felt like I had to hold it together.
You were locked in a different aspect.
Yeah.
So how do you find it? Obviously, your, I guess, fan experience started not at the game. You were lucky enough to go up on Wednesday. Wow, it's Friday today. That's
crazy.
whoa. You went up on Wednesday for Jersey Prezzo, so talk us through.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be asked to come in and present the jerseys to some of the players, or all of the players actually, sorry. And for me, it was a really different, more raw and emotional moment to be able to reflect mainly on the career that I had, the memories that I've made in the Origin jersey, and to be able to have that moment with it was something that for me was a really cool experience, and I was very grateful for. And then off the back of that, to be able to be asked to come into the coach's box was a really nice moment as well. I think
Mummy and daughter.
Mummy.
Mummy. That was obviously at jersey presentation. That was a point that I made. I had to announce to everyone that yes, Norris is my mum. But no, yeah, credit's due. Credit's due when credit's due, and I had to give thanks to obviously a lot of people, a lot of role models that had a massive part of my career, and obviously Tanya Norris was a big part of that in the creation of me as a football player. So she got her flowers.
Yep. So did you.
Oh, 100%.
Cute from the
I
girls.
actually did.
Literally.
That's what I mean.
But I think the hardest moment for me in that jersey presentation would definitely be the moment that I got, and which I feel like is an honourable moment.
Yeah.
But in the time, obviously, it's a very fast moment. You don't really get to soak it up. But for me, it was actually having the opportunity to give my jersey away, and I don't think I thought about it so much leading into it. But when it actually came to, it was like, for me, it was like emotional.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's not my moment.
Yeah.
That's that was Sienna's moment. But at the same time, it was a tough pill to swallow. But overall, as a fan, and then obviously being asked to go into the box, and seeing it from a fan point of view, perspective, it was probably one of the best experiences that I've ever had as a fan, as a footballer.
Yeah.
To be able to be on the opposite end, but to also be able to soak up the atmosphere properly and actually see it for what it is, and then reflect on what I was able to do in that jersey, and then understand that everyone talks about, like, you don't realise in the moment, but you realise after, and that was definitely something that I found as of last night.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. I think as well, seeing you yesterday, like, I'm so glad you went. Obviously, you're never going to not go, but you were packing it. You were in all sorts, and that obviously had a lot to do. For starters, no more obviouslies. Don't do that, okay? Yes, those who watch number one.
Obviously.
Obviously, maybe it's not that obvious. It's not my vocabulary. I need to read some more books in 2025, okay? I've got 4 kids. I don't have time to read books, all right?
That's it.
But, no, you were in all sorts yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't like...
Not something that you are going to look back. Now I'm focusing so hard not to say obviously.
Yeah, and you're stuttering.
Not something... Oh, not something that you're ever going to look back on and forget. So I'm happy that you went and got over the anxiety of being at the game and not knowing what to do with yourself. I think you handled yourself well. And everyone, you could see, like, what you brought. Even when we dropped you off at the W and you actually went to the field with the team, just seeing, you know, people get around you, the staff, the players, like you obviously bring something to that team and have for so many years. So it was really nice, I think, to see you as well get your moment outside of the game and that nice recognition from everyone and, I guess acceptance for everyone to still be in that space because of the effect and what you've given to the game and that team year after year. So that was really nice to see, I think, from our perspective as well. Obviously for you, Shan, it's a bit different. You're pregnant, you're going back to footy. Your goal is to actually be back timing-wise. With the way that the season runs, those know that State of Origin is the first game on the calendar, which would be your ideal first game back. Does that game one and that feeling of I seen your total demeanour change when kickoff went, huge FOMO vibes. Does that put fire in the belly for you to continue to make sure that you're doing your best, like from an athletic point of view through the pregnancy? And I guess how do you go about making sure that you're going to reach those goals?
Yeah, that's a big goal of mine. And I think now that I'm pregnant, I want to take one thing at a time, and that's what's going to be happening. I'm not going to put that pressure on my body, but if my body's ready, I'll definitely put my hand up for that opportunity. I know that I've got to do a lot of hard work to come back, but it's just awesome to see, like, I loved watching the game yesterday, and even though I was emotional myself, I just know that it's not the end for me, and I think seeing Taz in the box, it was really beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And I think the one moment that I took out of it, like, before every game in my career, I've never walked out on the field and touched it.
You said
and
this.
So I was like, I need to go and embrace everything fully. And then even like the shed, like just surrounding myself with my mates after it, just like time is so precious when you're in your career. And it made me think so much of what I want to do when I get back.
Yeah.
And if it's not Origin, then sweet, I've got NRLW and it's not the end. And I think that's why I was so happy, because I get to return and I have that support with pregnancy, and that's what's beautiful about where the game is going. And I'm just so happy that I have that support during pregnancy and I can enjoy both still.
Yeah. No, really, obviously looking
like
forward to
that.
seeing that, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, you're at your fittest at the moment, but I don't mind a bit of, we got a bit of postpartum size on you.
I know, I'm
Bash
excited
Bros.
to see. I don't know.
Do you know what I like about, obviously, you, Shan, is that you've played at the pinnacle without having kids. When you have kids, it takes you to a whole nother level, and everyone talks about that, but no one knows, like, unless you've had kids, you only know about it.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see where you're going to end up off the back of having a baby.
Children, yeah. I feel like having kids and doing things that you've done before kids, it just puts everything into perspective. So you're able to live when it comes to sport, when you don't have kids, it's like sport, I love footy. When you have kids, it's like kids, I love footy. So then when things go wrong or when things go right, you can really just live in the moment and be like, okay, sweet, something goes wrong, sweet. There's going to be a tomorrow. Something goes right, love it, cool. You just stay a bit more neutral and you're able to, like you said, live in the moment because you just have a different perspective on life. It's not everything revolved around football. So I think it brings something really beautiful emotionally, and it also, I think, puts a fire in your belly too, physically wise, because you're like, all right, I'm spending all this time away from my kids. What am I doing it for? Like, I better make it count. I'm not coming out here. I'm not spending all these hours a week training if I'm going to come out and get my ass handed to me. So I think that I'm really excited to watch the comeback. Stay tuned. Is that a short series on Shan's pregnancy comeback? Taz, you were obviously in the box with the team before the game. So let's talk about what was the vibes. What was, from Queensland point of view, how was the vibe around bus trip, sheds, and the prep leading into the game?
For me, it was, I actually really enjoyed the vibes. I felt like there wasn't anything missing in the lead up to the game. I feel like, obviously, when you bring the new talent pool into the mix of things, you expect it to be a little bit different. But at the same time, I think that they really gelled together off the field really well. Their preparation must have been second to none. So for me, I felt that. I felt like they were really prepared. They expressed that very often. But yeah, obviously for me, absolutely love the bus ride from the hotel to Suncorp. Shan can second it. It's the bus trip to the game is always probably one of my favourite moments. And it was probably a time where I got to really reflect on my career. I actually got to sit on the bus and not have the anxiety and all of that around playing, but I definitely had the nerves around the game. But yeah, I really enjoyed that moment. How the vibes for me were, I didn't see anything off. I felt like they were well prepared.
Yeah,
they were well ready to go. And
well, let's talk about the game then.
Yeah.
So prep was good, which you don't really go into an Origin saying prep was bad. Even when you said the same thing last year, Suncorp, prep was on, we're on, sweet. Like everyone's prep's obviously great, especially going into an Origin.
The prep was hilarious. But exclusive, I'll just say...
Keep it on.
I don't know. But exclusive.
Play on.
Where they've just finished warm-up, right? Lozzie's doing her last kick. She does one more kick. Inglis says, kick it to me. She turns and then just boots the hell out of this ball, bursts the water pipe, and it's drenched the whole... And it's like, when I mean burst the water pipe, I mean...
Is this in the shed?
I mean, yes, this is like the warm-up.
Showers, everyone.
The warm-up's just finished.
Oh,
I'm standing there ready to go up to the coach's box, waiting for Inglis and that. Inglis just talking his last things with Loz and said, just kick it to me, so because she wants to get a few big boots in before. She boots the ball and burst the water pipe, but like actually burst the water pipe where they had to bring in those machines that were outside the changing shed?
Yeah.
They were sucking the water out of the... It flooded the changing shed.
You got to prep the way that you're going to play.
It flooded the changing shed.
You got to prep the way that you're going to play.
And
I love that.
The funniest part was Lozzie just turned and then goes,
Next job.
just shut the door.
Next job.
Just shut the doors. Just shut the doors.
I love that. That's been professional. That's an Origin moment. That's a
She's
moment.
She goes, I knew I had to boot the ball, but luckily I did it. She goes, and I knew I had to do it after everyone had finished because I didn't want to ruin our prep. Because I knew that could happen. But she goes, but it's their fault for not having nets.
Come on, Suncorp, be better.
Nets.
And
Next
if
time,
you know
people.
Lozzie, it was hilarious because she's just like, see ya. She wanted her mates from work to come in.
Free ticket. So, yeah, back to the game. What? Where do you want to start? You're in the coach's box?
We got a hiding. And when you look at the scoreboard, it was a high-scoring game for New South Wales. And you can pinpoint, you can sit there and nitpick at Queensland having new debutants, young girls, fresh blood, losing the likes of me, Shan and Varney. You can look at it like that, but I think those are just excuses we got to hide in, and there's a lot that we need to work on as a Queensland squad. Do I think we can do it 100%? Do I know that we got the talent there? They proved it last night, but we need to see it more in consistently throughout our game and not in patches.
Yeah. All right. Well, you touch on it then. Let's start on the debutantes. So we'll go Queensland first and then we'll roll into New South Wales. So our first Queensland debutant, or our favourite, Queensland debutant collectively is our girl, Rory Owen.
Rory.
I felt bad, because before the game when I just got to the hotel, I've met her all but one time.
Boy, Auntie's giving her the tips on nutrition.
I've met her all but one time.
Nutrition.
When I gave her jersey the night before, and I overhear her she's obviously walking back from having food with Tavana, and I overhear her, we're sitting in the lobby. I overhear her say oh yeah, I just had a banana bread, and then I was like, oh, don't say anything. Obviously, you're not the dietitian. Look at you, you've eaten too much. And then she walks past her, and I was like,
to not get here, I will.
And then I just looked. I was like, Rory, have you eaten? No.
She turns around.
Put it down.
I've had a banana bread. Do you think that's enough?
She's like, I got a Rockaby in my room. And then I was like, so you've had a banana bread and a Rockaby. You're going to have that. and you've got 4 hours before the game. Darling, get back into that room and get something to eat.
And that's
like,
on
yeah.
experience.
And
then
you're right. I was thinking that. Yeah, you're right. Goes back. She wasn't thinking it. She's thinking, I'm nervous as hell. I don't want to eat. I feel sick. But Tasman Raps is sitting there telling me I need to eat, so I'm going to go find something and put it on my desk.
She comes out with this massive plate of
Good on her.
fried rice, and she's like walking to the room, and I was like, thank you.
Legend has it the rice is still sitting on her desk in her room.
And wait, look at that. If I did not
It's the
tell
extra
her to
carbs
eat,
that helped her push through that hole.
Falls
tell
on the
you
other
what.
hand, you need to stop.
I tell you what, that's one thing like the younger girls need to understand is that like we're not playing park footy anymore.
Yeah.
We're playing
Fuel up.
Yeah, we're playing Origin. It's a late match. Shout out to Peter Carriage. She's clutch when it comes to our food.
Yeah.
No excuses, yeah.
But it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And if you're not fueled up before the game, coming into that second half,
Well, Rory was fueled up.
100%.
She looked electric when Rory.
I like that.
Why is it such a tongue tie?
I don't know.
Rory.
Rowie. Rowie. I
No,
feel like
Rory.
Rowi's just
Yeah, Rory.
comfortable, so I'm sorry if you don't like that. Yeah, but Rowie. So she had an outstanding debut for a young girl stepping on the scene, fresh to NRLW, even like last year being her, breakout season. The speed, I thought she was electric. I thought she worked well with Taz. And you're seeing carbon copy. We were worried about losing Vans. Carbon copy try. Obviously not off a scrum, but same set. Taz ices the foreman, gets it OB. Rory inside. Jess surges and Kezi abs.
That's a huge.
And bursts through.
Yeah, that's huge.
I don't think they were expecting that, to be honest.
That's a courage line because if Jess gets her body in front, you get absolutely pumped.
I don't know many young girls that are her age that would happily put themselves in the firing line between those two players. And for a kid that's her age, just freshly on the scene.
Rate it.
And then, puts herself in that position and scores off the back of it.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like we spoke about the back five, the battle of the backs, but Rory, she stepped up. She was active on exit sets. She was finding her front, obviously got turned over a couple of times, which is natural in Origin when you're banging with the big girls in the middle, but did not miss a beat, did not shy away from the challenge whatsoever, and just kept going after it. Yeah.
Definitely in the arm wrestle. She didn't there was a few times where she made an error, but usually you see them step away, but she just came front on.
Yeah.
And every time just kept showing up, so
big pass.
Loved it.
Can't wait to see her Origin career
She's strong,
evolve.
Yeah,
good.
She shocked me. I loved it.
And like, if you actually stand next to her, there's nothing to her.
She's small. Speed kills. Speed
kills.
Speed kills.
I was like, holy hell, how do you do that?
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know how great she is, I think. Like, she doesn't even know herself.
But actually, the chat around camp is that she's actually hilarious.
Oh, that's what you like.
Nonchalant.
So we're going to move on to Jazzy Peters. You're obviously close with her, Shan. Cut short with the concussion.
Yeah,
what were your thoughts?
She got speaking about it last night, just about injecting herself into the game.
What was about 30 minutes before her first carry?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I would say with the couple of carries that she had, they were strong, and I'd love to see more of it. But I think in that arena, you do need to look for it. I don't know. We said some points last night. Is it because of the game plan or because you're being told that you've got to carry it in a certain time of the game or certain part? Like when it went to the left side, I did see that she tried to inject herself in and got told, go back to your wing. So is that the case of it? But her time did get cut off short due to HIA.
Yeah. And that could also be, like we were talking about, experience.
Yeah.
Like, you can be told, yeah, we got this, but Robbo, you'd have to peel her back and jersey sling her back to her wing when it's an exit set. She's first there on the ball. So maybe it is just that experience, knowing that you need to just be there and take control. People are telling, it's fine, but it's not fine. Get there and get in and help
do we
your
get
mates
comms out to her? It might need to be a bit of a reminder.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is a team effort. I would love for the players to be like, hey, we need more.
Yeah. I think it was definitely a bit of, gameplay, obviously positional stuff, because like you said, we've seen one set, New South Wales turned over the ball left wing 30 metres, still in yardage, and Jazz went to come in and they're saying, back out to your wing. So it's like, well, if you want the forwards to do the work, sweet.
Well, I think when you get knocked back like that, it's been so fresh on the scene. If you're so
Confidence
fresh into
kick.
the game, if you come in, you're coming to inject yourself into the game, and someone pushes you out, you kind of doubt straight away.
Oh, you don't need me?
Yeah, you don't need me, or then you find it a lot harder to then go inject yourself into the game because you've obviously put yourself out there to do that, and then you've been knocked back. So it's like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? So
we want to see her have another shot though, because she had tough carries.
I would love to see her.
Just kind of own it a bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, come back out in this next game if she gets to play and evolve.
Yeah.
Evolve. Because there was a set there where she took 2 carries in one set.
Yeah.
That's what we mean. When
The
she
set,
was
the set where she got hit,
I
the
think she was
HIA,
starting to warm up and do that too.
The set where she gets taken off with the HIA, she took 2 carries and like...
That was her second carry.
Yeah, for me, I was like, oh, she's actually warming into this game.
I said
And that was
too.
both good.
Go, Jazz. Like,
But if
finding her feet.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to Jada and Teaghan, because they both had... Teaghan had a bit of a concussion scare. She obviously got the HIA.
She got caught in the wrong... Like, her head got caught in the wrong position in a tackle.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So just got a bit rattled, got taken off for HIA.
Oh, it was honestly not... I think it was actually it looked like it was her neck, but it was a stinger.
I thought it was a stinger.
Yeah.
You could see because
definitely
she
a
was going
stinger,
like this.
But because of the way that her neck goes when she comes into the tackle is why they would have taken her off.
So how do we think Teaghan went? I
think she's a smoky.
I think that she, and I said it to you last night, I don't feel like the forward pack are aware of how good she is. Maybe they've seen her at Roosters, but again, I've watched her as a junior. I know how silky she was, and there was times in that game where she's taken it to the line and with a little bit of late footwork, and she's pumped and she's held up, and people might say like, oh, why didn't you pass it? Why'd you stop? But she actually turned the corner well, and she's waiting for someone to punch a hole off her. And obviously the forwards just weren't on the same page, maybe a little bit fatigue, I'm not sure. But I think you've spoke about it. I know if you were out there and someone like that was running around in the middle, controlling the middle, you'd be absolutely pumping inside shoulders and you'd be bursting over for, either a try, set up a try, or at least a fast play the ball. And I feel like the forwards didn't get on the back of her. They didn't, I don't know, maybe the few changes in the middle.
Rows as well?
That's everyone.
Yeah.
She's
That's halves. That's
She's the
halves.
13.
Push up.
Yeah.
If you've got a 13 that's willing to do that for you as a half and make space for you, everyone should be flat and fast off it.
Just on that, I think with the forwards thing is getting to know the players that you're playing with. Who's taking it up, who's a ball player, and just I think genuine push support we just didn't see.
Yeah.
And the forwards.
Yeah.
And I think does that come down to not having enough reps maybe?
Well, we'll get to the forwards. Get to the forwards. But Teaghan specifically, you liked her.
Yeah.
You've both said you would like to play with her.
That's the next game that
and she brings that dog.
Yeah.
I've made comment on it in the last podcast. I think that she's a very arrogant player that backs her ability, and when it comes to Origin, you need those players. It beats athleticism over everything.
Yeah,
she's tough.
So to watch her, I think for me, when watching the game, we very much look to her to be the aggressor.
Yeah.
Yes, she's a small body, but she's very she can tackle, she can hit, she can pull off the crafty play. So she makes one tackle and I think she lays surges out, and it changed the momentum of our game in defence. If we have more of her doing that, she's a threat. She's an instant threat in defence and attack.
That could be a talking point moving forward, obviously, when we look at our previews and our teams for next week. But our last debutante would be Jada. Virgo. So she had a shorter stint, not for any means, but Taz, you probably can give a bit of insight on this because there was a bit going on in the middle with Jazz Peters getting injured. There was a bit of shifting on the edge, then Teaghan's little stint off, and then Jada gets thrown in. So what was, I guess, the reasoning around Jada's timing that she got? She didn't get on till the second half or the end of the first half. What was the...
Yeah, it was a big call, obviously. Jazzy went down and it reshuffled the whole team. We had to make changes here, there, everywhere. You see Romy go out to centre, Killian to back row, and things like that. So it was a big move when we took Teaghan off because when Teaghan got the HIA, we had to take her off, which then we needed another middle. That's when Jada was injected into the game. And to no means of her performance or anything like that, we just needed Lozzie back on the field. And the game that Lozzie was playing, she was our go forward. She was aggressive defensively, and we just needed that extra experience back on the field.
Yeah.
And that's probably where obviously Jada got pulled, and then we injected Lozzie back into the game. But I would love to see, Jada just step more into that hooker role and actually control her middle and actually get the opportunity to do that, because I've seen her do it at club. I know that she can do it. I just think that she needs her time, like more time on the field, more exposure to the game, and I'm excited to see what she can do in a Maroons jersey, because I know for a fact she
would have been itching at the bit. She would have been itching at the bit, especially when she got pulled. Understandable. It's Queensland. You're not kicking stones, but it's like, man, I would have loved to see, I've said it to you last night, I would have loved to see Loz go into that loose forward role. Just because I feel like Dest and Keels are more runners. Obviously, they can ball play, but I don't think they naturally have that controlling voice to actually direct the forwards. And I loved when Lozzie came on as a loose forward game 1 last year, Suncorp. She brought Eno, she brought her forwards on, she brought that tip onto the game, which Teaghan was doing well too, but again,
she wants to bang.
Exactly.
She wants to bang, and she goes toe-to-toe with it. Like, she's ready to go toe-to-toe.
That's what I would love to see.
Lozzie. Yeah.
Loz and Jada, a bit of a pairing. But again, we'll get into that with preview. So moving to New South Wales debutantes, I think we talk about or the biggest speaking point. The biggest speaking point for New South Wales selection was actually Jamie Frezard getting selected on the wing, rather than Flash or Whitfield. Now, I am so happy for Jamie. She came out and silenced every critic and said, "This is why I'm here. Strangey knows why I'm here." And now I've showed the whole, nation why I should be selected in the New South Wales team and why I was part of a premiership winning squad. She had that dog. She got in there, fast footwork around the ruck. Only made 80 metres, but I feel like the runs and the timing of her runs were quality. And then, winger's ice things. She got 2 tries. So
she bumped a few players off as well. Right?
She put not Liv Kearney. She put Romy down just a straight, and that's quite a big difference size-wise.
That's a big difference.
Bro, it honestly felt like she's played Origin before. Like she
Origin
was in
player.
that team.
That's the aura it's giving.
Yeah. And she did a job.
Yeah.
Everyone underestimates placing the ball down and giving a try, especially that ball that Isabel Kelly gave her, that quick hands. She was ready. She was there. She wasn't too deep. She wasn't forward. Like, she was just there, bang.
She's like a little Energizer bunny.
Well, I think...
But she didn't overdo it as well. Because she is an Energizer bunny, she didn't overdo it. They just complemented each other so well.
I feel like when she was running especially through the ruck, just her footwork around the ruck, getting it a loose A, getting back in at markers through the ditch, she really helped.
Well, I caught it before the game.
Yeah.
She's an Origin player through and through. She's aggressive. I reckon that's what they lacked. It's just like that fiery player out of coming out of yardage.
They've got a lot of pretty.
100%.
They've got all the pretty in the world.
They've got what they need, but they just need a gutsy, aggressive player like Frezard. And I feel like I knew that she had it in her. I knew that she was itching at the bit to get back out, to get out there and actually play in a Blues jersey. Off the back of her injuries.
And her teammates were around it.
Yeah.
And not even just her teammates. Like I was saying to you, we could see on social media, people were posting about it because they obviously were seeing as well the comments that, and it's not even I don't think necessarily a talk down on why is Frezard there. It was just Berry and Whitfield had such great years, obviously Australian team, that kind of thing. It was just how do these girls get overlooked? And sometimes people can say that obviously in not a nice way at all. And some people were disrespectful, but it's just that's why.
That's footy. There's always people
She's-
knocking at opportunities, like at your door for opportunities.
Yeah, 100%.
And she was there and she took it.
Well done. Happy for her.
Yeah.
Stoked for her.
She did what I said.
Great
She
day.
was
Not
gonna do.
not stoked for
She-
Queensland.
She did what
Stoked
she
for her.
said. Wait, she did what I said she would do.
Okay. All right. Big coach.
Dr. Shan.
Look out.
Super coach. Right here.
Okay. And we're going to move on to Ellie Johnston. Okay, hold on. Actually,
Babe.
3 of 4 New South Wales debuts, all starting debutants for New South Wales, tries.
That's pretty cool.
As a prop, she done so well. And I know,
You're like,
I know,
oh, that pains
I
me.
know, it does pain for me to say it.
Yeah.
Like, I will.
But you
When she
knew it
scored-
was coming.
When,
You
you know
knew
what?
it
I
was
did.
coming.
I did.
100%.
I've seen her work so hard and her like watching from the sideline last year, wanting to make a difference. And then she took her opportunity this year. And I think when she scored the try, I was like, I knew it. I knew it. But man, as a prop to prop, like, well done. Great debut. You did everything well. You ran hard. You defense. I don't even think she missed a tackle. She just held her own. And I think even her getting discriminated outside, like on socials, she just
Oh, yeah.
proved like, yeah, 100% read between the lines to the whole everyone out there in the world. She is a big body. We talk about big bodies and small bodies. What body do we need?
Well,
to
no,
play
that's
rugby
one I
league?
want on my team.
You know what?
Yeah,
100%.
I want that one.
That's what, and that's
100%.
what we
I
said.
am
That's
that.
why we want Doozy
I
on
am
our
that.
team.
Yeah,
is
I am that.
because
And to be honest, she owned it. She owned it the whole game, and she's so humble.
she was
after
her
the game.
out of the
I seen her
forwards.
get interviewed, and she was so humble in the way, like, she carried on like job's still not over yet.
Yeah. Very
She
good.
took the game with both hands.
She took
Yeah.
it with both
And
hands and said,
it's-
forwards, follow me. Like, this is me now. Millie's gone. All good. Let's go. I got
Yeah.
you.
If you're a stranger, you're cheering.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
your forwards are doing that for you, they're coming on the field, they're starting a game and they're laying the platform. Then you have your
That is
your,
the best thing, and then everyone's at the back of you like, sweet, now I can do
wanna
my
come
job.
on the field. You're itching
it's
to come on the
calm.
field.
Oh, 100%. I was, oh,
I know as well her Sharks teammates, like T and Cass Staples, they've got nothing but high things to say for her. Nothing, yeah, they've got very big praise on her, and I know that they all would have been really, really proud as well. Tony Herman, I'm sure they would have been watching at home, you know, absolutely can't wait for her to get home to give her her flowers. So great work, Ellie Johnston.
running.
Abby, I'm so happy for her.
For her
she just
moment
looks like
to
I want to be
come.
her friend. She's so cute. Little Jack in the Box. I'm so happy. I try.
She's fiery, eh? For a little girl, she's actually really fiery.
Is she?
Yeah.
she's
She's Larry. So
dangerous.
she's Larry. She'll back you. She's one of, like, you wouldn't think she's one of the, like, you're looking at her, you
okay.
genuinely wouldn't think she's someone that would back you. But she, like, you look at the Broncos Eels game when with that incident that happened,
Yeah.
she's
First
right
one
in
in.
there. Right in
Let's
there.
go.
And she ain't scared either.
Origin.
She ain't scared. That's an Origin player.
Origin player.
Right there.
Yeah, no, happy for her. She's rapid. Her foot speed. Her like first 5 steps is like do. Like, my god.
I've seen speed.
Don't
but
run at me.
You don't realise, like,
Their defense line needs to be
How
tight,
fast
man.
Bruh.
They
No,
need to
watching it from-
compress on that kick chase.
Wait,
Bro,
watching it
that's
from
fast.
up top, you're like, holy, how is she already made
she's
like 8
whipping
meters?
around the field.
It's crazy.
Whipping.
That's where you want kick chase to be on.
Yeah.
You need to be on with that. If not, man, you found out real quick.
Nah, she was. I liked her. I liked it. Obviously, it was very different to last year having Emma, that ball playing role. We'll get to Emma soon, but I really liked it. She was sniffing around. She was active. She had a little try assist or a try.
She actually proved me wrong.
She
I
passed?
Yeah,
Look
she proved
out.
me wrong. Obviously, when you come up against her in club footy, a big talking point is around her passing game. Bro, she come out as
Boots.
try assist straight
Here you go,
away, and I was
Izzy.
like, no, instantly, no. But no, that was really cool to see.
Yeah. No,
and
very
she's expanded
cool.
her game, and it's made her even more of a threat. So,
Yeah.
I think she had a really good debut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it like, and I feel like every debutante that New South Wales had were they were outstanding.
They were outstanding.
They were outstanding.
Last
Right,
one that
yeah.
leads us to is Jocelyn Kelleher. So started on the bench. New South Wales actually went through 3 different hookers. Like obviously Emma Veron came on as the second hooker, as the 14. Jocelyn got held back. Jocelyn ended up coming on in the second half, actually. She didn't come on in the first half at all. So Strangey was using up more so in the forwards, keeping the forwards fresh. But how did we see Jocelyn's injection?
Obviously, where they were where the New South Wales team were at the point of her coming on, they were on a roll. So you didn't necessarily get to see the full performance of what Jocelyn can do. I would love to see where her New South Wales career takes her. I know that she's got the ability to lead them at some point. I don't know if that's this series or when that's to come, but I'm definitely excited to see where she can inject herself into the game. Obviously, we didn't get to see much of her in this game, but I'm super excited to see where she can go from here.
Yeah, just on that, I don't think she overplayed her card as well. Like, it was such a team effort out there that she just came in and connected straight away with the people around her.
Yeah.
And I think it's better to play safe than come out and
reinvent the wheel.
And sometimes that's hard.
Sometimes
that's hard when you're coming off the bench because you're like, I need impact. I need to bring something new. But obviously, when you're at that level, no, you don't. You probably just need to give someone a spell. Like, someone's done their time.
You just straight into
you
the
actually
team.
didn't even notice she was on for like the first set. So I'm like, oh, whoa, Jocelyn's there. She did. You're exactly right. She's just slotted straight in, done her job. At that point, it was working like clockwork for New South Wales. So
and that's hard to do.
It takes pressure off
you
her.
can come in and be selfish and be like, I need to put ball in hand and it's got to be about me.
Yeah.
But it was literally a team
first.
effort.
Yeah.
Team first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think everyone was just on the same page.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the battles of the back. Battle of the back, sorry. So we spoke about this leading into it, how New South Wales have got Queensland for numbers previously, that their back five outshines Queensland in regards to run meters. Even when you've won games, it's still New South Wales backing that. Shan, I'll start with you. We were watching from up top, so you could visibly see what the exit sets look like. What did you see, I guess, from New South Wales? Let's start there.
Yeah, we always know that, like, Jess and Izzy set the platform for that. They've always got, I think over the game, always, like you said, like over 150 metres a game. Says a lot, but I think they're just so consistent in that everyone else just, like, can feed off that and then the forwards finish it and then a good kick chase.
Yeah.
They've always been really good at exit sets.
They actually, and Taz made the point, they didn't run as many meters as a collective as they normally would. Izzy, like, obviously, Jamie was only at 80 meters.
I think
Izzy was at 109, which is like, but in saying that, that's for 9 runs. So when you're doing the math, it's still 10, 11 metres. That might be a bit of a game plan change once you see the forwards and how impactful Kennedy Charrington and those kind of girls were. They still made their 10 metres every time. And if you know you're getting 10 metres a run, 10 plus 10, times 5, that's 50 metres in a set. That's all you need in Origin.
I think the difference was when they got out of their exit sets, it was nearly past halfway, which means the forwards can get injected in. So they didn't have to do too much.
It was like a 1-2 punch.
It was a 1-2.
And then they were in attacking.
But if you look at it, there was a lot of errors in our own half. So there was they didn't need to inject themselves in the game. They're already attacking the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you factor that in, then obviously there isn't much get out sets. There's no need for them to come in. It's just when they forwards game, and then they play their pretty footy at the line. So
but when they were in their zone where our try line was, they did get out.
They still looked better.
Yeah,
they still when you look at Queensland and you're watching the exit sets from the coach's box, was the chat? Yep, that's a great. Like, did you genuinely look at one set and be like, great exit set? As a whole, not great run Robbo, great run Raws, or like, yep, great run like Scissor, or individually, like, was there a set that you actually looked at it and went, we've nailed that?
Yeah,
I'll make comment for myself. I'm not going to make comment for anyone else. Was I extremely happy with how our backs...
I love the Queensland twist on this. My girls.
Was I extremely happy with how the backs, the get out sets? No. Was there a lot of changes to it? And I feel like this is a point we made last night, was that we obviously have Rory firing to get the ball, coming onto the ball, wanting the ball. You have Robbo wanting the ball. But then when you have the opposite side of you not doing the same thing, it kind of makes it really hard to find that consistency within your get out sets.
Well, Romy topped the run meters of the
Exactly.
back. So if you've got a second
Is it
rower
an experience
who's
thing? Is it an experience thing? I don't know.
well, Scissor's experience, Meeks'
Sis-
we
very
know that
experienced.
Meeks is obviously not. Her run meters generally come from like her
But she
tries and her
brings
line
people
breaks and
onto
stuff.
the ball.
She does, yeah,
She brings people onto the
Yeah.
ball in our get out sets, and that's what I love about mixing.
100%.
Man, she took some
but
runs
I-
too.
Yeah, but overall,
Oh no, yeah.
but
I'm just
overall,
saying.
when your halves are taking carries to your get out set, that's when you know
When
you
Skip's-
know you're in trouble.
When Skip's tucking the ball under, you know someone's not doing the
Yeah.
job because
Yeah,
I think I watched Ali have 3 carries out of yardage, just straight hook up bus, come with me, and it was like, who's coming?
Exactly.
Like, let's go. I need a
So
one
I think
too.
it comes down to that experience factor of like knowing that that's your role.
Yeah.
I would love to see our backs dominate their get out sets and actually putting their hands up. Of it, when we started to do that, you start to see the flow. But the minute we don't do that, it puts pressure on us. We're turning the ball over.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think there's a lot of times where we need to catch the ball on the full as well.
Oh.
That's
a clinical
not
sin.
relying on Robbo to clean up for us and stuff like that. So
Right, 20 catches,
it needs
I
to be a seesaw effect from both left to right of the field. I understand that someone got injured. I understand that there was a reshuffle, but Romy didn't skip a beat when she.
Props
when she
to
changed,
Romy.
yeah,
Props to
100%.
Romy.
Yeah, so-
She got
Romy
done
didn't
up
skip
on
a
that
beat.
Abbey Church try, but I feel like by that stage it was just fatigue,
Yeah.
just getting caught out of a bit of position. But other than that, she was
someone to
there
get
for
shifted to
carry
centre,
after carry.
But
Yeah.
someone to get shifted to centre in a game where she's probably not actually trained to play centre. I
Okay.
feel like she did her job.
Yeah.
She came in, she took the hard carry, but I do like you said, I would love to see more from our backs. I know that there's more in them. I just need our experienced players to step up and actually own the back 5.
Yeah, just on that, we're talking about experience, and so when we talk about experience, who would we want to see step up?
I need Scissor to step up.
Yeah, okay, because I was going to say we've got Romy put back into the centre. She stepped up. We've got Robbo that's been stepping up the whole game.
She's the most
How much
consistent.
more?
Rory
Yeah,
has
Rory
done
had
her
her
job.
moments. Like, how much more do we need? That's 3 out of the 5. I think, yeah, we can talk about experience, but at the end of the day, you know your job. And if we spoke about it last night,
if you want to be there, be there.
our job, and that's to get out. Did we own it well as a pack? And I think we can talk about experience, but you got 3 out of the 5. That's 2 more players left.
Well, that was Jazzy and Scissor.
Yeah.
Shanae.
Yeah,
Scissor
so
Ultra.
just wanted a bit more from them.
I just want
Because
like
when Scissor got in
when
there
Scissor's
at
on,
the end,
she's on,
when she
and-
got in their second half, she was making carries, and it's like, all right, wait, can we get
when
this?
Scissor's on, she's on.
Yeah.
And she can do some freakish things. Her on a short side play, I would go to her every single day of the week. She'll ice it. And we've seen that in past origins, but I
Just
just
a bit of connection, hey?
Yeah.
I just need
Just disconnected.
Yeah.
we just need more injection from
Yeah.
a collective.
Everyone as a
I
pack,
I
not
want
just
them as a
individual.
pack to collectively take on take on
Make it
the-
personal.
Yeah.
Us
And
versus
take it
you. It's
on.
our
Take it
backs
on.
versus your backs. Lastly, just on that backs, Julia Robinson, GOAT winger of all time. I know Goosey is a trailblazer. Julie
yeah.
Robinson, GOAT.
She'll go down in history as the best back.
The best back.
Best
the most
back.
safest, best winger of all time.
The best winger of all time.
And
one
you
of
can't change
the
my
best
mind.
back in the history of rugby league.
Yeah.
And
I
she
haven't
still
seen a
thinks she
player
didn't
like
do
it.
enough. That's
You know
correct.
what?
The fact that
That's scary.
you seen her walk to her partner. What's her partner's name? Sorry.
My bro, she
walked
tops-
over
her
and was-
averaging is like 200 meters.
Yeah. Yes, it is. She's got the highest average of run meters in the NRL.
How does I can't even top 50 meters. How is your average?
Your average is quadruple mine.
My average is 25 meters. How is yours 200?
Are we being lazy out there?
Yeah.
No, but
Are we being lazy out there?
the thing
I'm having a
about it,
breather.
you've seen her she was the last one to come back to her partner. We were standing on the sidelines. She's the last one to come back to her partner because she obviously has so many bloody fans. The whole of Queensland wanted to
people's
shake
person, bro.
her hand after
give
the
the people what
performance
they
that
want.
she had. And she comes back and you could visibly see how distraught she was. She was so disappointed. when she was by far Queensland's best player. Like, that's what it's about.
And
that's what Origin's about.
Well, I think because she is so consistent, you kind of bypass her.
Yeah.
Not bypass her, and we've spoken
You
about
expect so highly.
You expect so highly of her. So if she's running 100 meters, you're like, why have you not run 200?
Why haven't you ran 4?
And then I think that's the expectation she has on herself. She set the platform for all wingers in our game to aspire to be like that. She's our most consistent and safest player in our Origins, in our Origin team.
Yeah.
And you never skip a beat with her.
Yeah, cool. I think,
She had it.
Greatest of all time.
So much pressure on her.
Oh.
And I think she thrives off the
catches.
pressure.
How do you catch that,
No,
though?
and then you know what?
You can't
I just
coach
felt
it.
When she
cannot
dropped
coach
that
it.
ball, everyone, was that a bad pass?
Oi,
Like,
Ozzy,
Robbo,
you know
who
what?
cares?
I'm blaming someone else. I'm
Defend.
blaming
No,
someone else
when
if
that
she drops the
happens.
ball.
Same. Was that
'Cause it doesn't
get it up
happen.
here. Get it up
Wait,
more.
when that happened, I go, I would be tired after all that work too. You know what? I was like, someone pat her back.
Get around her.
And sorry, I can't. I was like, and defend for her.
Yeah.
I was like, man, pick her up and be like, bro.
Can we get an escort?
Oi,
Can we get an escort?
sorry, I might come in and help. I just think, oh my gosh, I looked at Robbo and I go, you know what, girl? You've done so much.
Do you know
My
what?
back would be sore as well.
You
My
weren't
back
that
would be
drop
sore.
ball.
Your leaps are crazy. I can't even jump off the ground.
My
That is-
calves were sore.
honestly, praise to Robbo.
Yeah.
She thinks that she still didn't even do enough. And honestly, Robbo, you did amazing out there.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's go to
Far
the
out.
battle of the forwards. So, New South Wales, again, I mean, they obviously won the battle everywhere. That is reflective in the score. But New South Wales forward pack. So, this looked a bit different as well. Liv Koenig starting at lock. We had Ellie Johnston. And then on the other side, Mimes, just tuck their head under, get through your work, no fuss, nothing about it. How do we think that
That's
they
business.
laid the platform? Because I thought starting off,
Koenig.
we spoke about Koenig here. I
Yeah.
said I think that she needs to run the ball more. Her first 3 runs were outstanding. She nearly scored 2
my gosh.
tries.
And I was like,
I
straight
thought she was
away.
going to score and I was
Because I was
Yeah.
like, let's go. This is it. Because if
I was
you
like,
can
this
get
looks
that
good.
mix,
Yeah.
she is such a big body and she's got those like agility and late footwork at the line plus a pass. She ran those 3 and it was like everyone was just like go forward. And then on that shift,
I think they score off the back.
To be
Yeah.
honest,
The back of that.
defensively as well. I think we talked about a defensive effort's been like probably a target. No one got through. There was good dual contact with the other forwards, and I think she held her own, both in attack and defence. And that's something that we all spoke about. Leading, I think Taz was just like, bro, she deserves to be there. She can play there. That is the future. And we were like, half about it. And then she came out and did that. I think.
I still think she can be better in getting. So I thought she ran the those first 3 runs. I was like, sweet. From there, she didn't really run it again
Remember,
for the
she
rest.
got injured.
Yeah.
This is before she got injured.
got injured.
She kept going. She kept again, just like, which was working. They're obviously shifting.
Yeah.
But I still think if she can get more of her running game into it and not necessarily need to go wide or even bring in a bit of a run, skip, start on A, skip to B, tip on.
I think that comes. I think
No,
I think what you're
100%.
saying comes. I think she just needed it's their first game. It's their first
it
hit
out
out
for a bit.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
think obviously when you come from back row into the middle of the field, you've opened up your game a little bit more from an offload to an actual pass. I like seeing her there. Do I want to see more of her there? 100. 100. Do I think she can offer a lot to their team? Yeah, you can see that at the start of the game. She came out all guns blazing.
Yeah.
That's what I
just
think,
just
yeah.
in more patches.
I think if she, like I said, if she can get her game evened up, I really find it hard for New South Wales.
Maintain it.
For Queensland
To maintain
for
that.
a long time, because she's only young, and having someone like that with that skill in the middle, that run game and that pass game, and then obviously the option later on in the game, she gets shifted to second row to then bring a worker on in the middle and
But I also don't like that option though.
what?
I don't like a switch from lock to back
I'm not saying
row.
I liked it. I'm just saying
it's a big change in such a big game. Like you do that at park footy and it's hard. Doing it at Origin, it's a lot of pressure to go from obviously having players around you when you defend, and then to be the one, like obviously the trigger that triggers the back, like your back line to either shut or stay.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's the right option. I'm just saying having her as the option to do is crazy. having someone of that caliber.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's what I'm saying.
You have a lot. You have options with her.
Yeah. But around her as
Because you
well,
can
you've
move
got
her
a
into the
team full of
middle. You can
stars.
then move her like. She's
Yeah.
very versatile.
Very. Mimes,
Yeah, she did
head down,
she
bum
always
up.
does her job.
Head down, bum up.
Always. I think it didn't. The thing with Mimes, it didn't play into her favour the way that Koenig was playing.
Yeah.
So much it kind of eliminated her a little bit.
Yeah. I thought Mimes was on the push support a lot.
Yeah. Never does she skip a beat.
Yeah.
And actually,
Well,
I
I'm glad
did see
you say
that.
though, because it's the little 1%ers that people
It
don't
is,
see,
and
and it counts.
No, I seen that.
Yeah.
Right at the start of the game, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Always someone there. But I feel like that's what New South Wales have really worked on is their push support.
Yeah.
And it puts you in two minds as a defender. And I feel like they really did that well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if Mimes didn't run that support line, then
Yeah.
it wouldn't be on.
It doesn't
And
open
it
up.
is-
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't
is-
open up later on in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the start of the game, you're kind of like obviously feeling the game out. But by the back end of the game, with the more the support runs, the more you're in two minds as a defender and as the defenders that like as an attacker, that's exactly what you're meant to do. And they did their job.
Because the
well.
moment she
Well,
gets
I
the
know-
ball, she's through.
I know as well, it's like you go into game review, some coaches more than other, but coaches are counting genuine push support, push through the lines and having that ball play. That's what I'm
true.
saying with obviously Koenig going out the back consistently. Mimes was the forward. It was either Mimes or, Ellie they know when Ellie's on that she's a go-to to run it, but obviously Mimes played that bit of longer minutes, that working role, so it was push support. But I know that when they get back into review, it's going to be like, right, you might not have had as many runs or meterage or whatever
But
as you
look what
normally
created
do.
off the back of that.
Exactly, but it's team first mentality. So we go on to the benches for Queensland. Let's go starting pack for Queensland. Keely, Tavana didn't end up starting. It was Destiny, so they flipped back last minute. Is that mind
was
games
fine.
or?
Which was fine.
Jess.
From the kickoff, we didn't have it in
Oh
us.
dear.
And I think we've done that before in previous games where from the kickoff, we lose it.
And it sticks with you
Yeah.
through the whole game, through the whole next time you prep for the second game. It's actually so crucial. So if we know that we're receiving and you find out after warm-up or before warm-up, depends on, how
Whenever
they
you
want to
find
deliver it. But I think that's the moment, like forwards get together, right? Before we run out, we're just like, we've got to own it. We've got to lay the platform. And to be honest, the platform was just not laid from the get-go. It's a domino effect.
And it's hard to get back. And you could tell that in our game. And it ends up being a really scrappy game of football at the start of the game. There was a lot of drop ball.
Skip kicks it out first set. That's unheard of.
It's just a ripple effect.
Yeah, that's right.
That really makes it hard for us to get our game back.
Yeah. Is it okay? You're getting kicked off. I love Keely Joseph. I love how she plays. Keely
love
Joseph is the first run. She's probably one of the smallest people on the field. Is that the option for front row? You like Destiny at front row?
I loved Des last night. If you watch how she played at the from the kickoff, she had that mongrel in her. She tucked it under. She carried. She actually made chewed through a fair few meters. And that's what I loved about it. But
is that a change?
Did we crack on from the start? No. Did it put us on the back foot? Yes. Did it put our skip under pressure? She's kicking from an edge pretty close.
35 down a short,
Yeah.
down a short.
It just
short
it
side.
didn't lay the platform for us to go back to back to back to back to back to then get to our kick to go kick into a corner.
There was no grind.
Defend up.
It was quite messy that first set. Like, to be honest, like bringing someone up at like late, little bit of room.
Well, we lost the
back end.
first tackle. We lose the second.
The second
tackle.
one, the
We're
third one as
scrambling
well.
By the third, they're jamming us.
You
And
can't-
they did it to us last year.
Yeah.
Well, you
And
can't
that's the
give New
truth,
South
yeah.
Wales, a New South Wales team looking down the barrel of a 3-year
A hungry
a
team.
3-year drought to bring, like, that's what they're looking down.
Yeah.
You can't be giving them any early ball because they're going after it. They're sick of it. They're sick of losing. They love winning. You see it, through all of their wins. They love it. They're posting up. They're rubbing it in your face. And so they should. It's Origin, sweet. But they want it. And that's what it looked like in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And, from the get-go, though.
From the get-go, yeah, everyone's fresh.
It's a fresh new... It's a new look
Yeah.
for both teams.
Yeah.
But I think when they came out on the field, Strangey had condition them to think we're a fresh team, but this is our job. This is what we're here to do.
Yeah.
And I felt like they executed it from the kickoff. Yes, it was scrappy. Yes, there was a lot of drop ball, but they did their job. They were consistent.
Yeah. Let's move on to New South Wales bench then, because we've
the interchange was outstanding.
The interchange from John Strange, I'm going to say that
Complemented everything that they were doing.
Ellie Johnson, 15 minutes on, set the platform, work as hard as you can. We'll give you a rest, babe. Neck minute.
Smart.
Kennedy
a coach
on.
that knows his players.
100%.
A coach that knows his players can do wonders with a team.
Yeah. I knew that Ali Johnson can actually play minutes, but he was just so smart on how he did his interchanges.
What do we think of Kennedy
then? 15 minutes, and then Kennedy came on. Honestly, I told you, she's annoying. She was ready, but I knew she was out last year, and I knew she was going to be hungry to come back in and make a statement. That's just what Kennedy's all about, and she knows she wants the whole world to know that she's back.
Yeah.
And honestly,
I thought she
Kennedy,
was
big
outstanding.
raps because she ran it like she pretty much offered out the whole forward pack, and I would just say that confidently, because as a prop, that's what you want to do. No matter who you're going against, even if it's your opposite number, it's like, no, any of you forwards.
I think it was after they scored the Abby Church try, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but she had first carry. Kennedy had first carry, and it was like carbon copy, because Kennedy's obviously small as well, so you're comparing her to Keely. Carbon copy, same side. They kicked to the right side. Gave it to Kennedy. Kennedy off the back fence. I think she carried 3, shook one off. Like it was, and you just went head in hands. Like
I was like,
oh my dear. Like she was her. She came on and did it.
It was the same setup from like kickoff. If you go from, receiving first, and Kennedy doing the same. I don't know. I just like, it puts questions on defensively. How much do we want it? And that's an attitude thing. We talked about defense is all about attitude. Yeah. It doesn't matter how big or small. We talked about how big you can be and how small you can be. And I feel like, I know that Kills can come out and do a better carry for the next game. Yeah. But it's about this game that counts. 100%. And I know she is,
for her player of the match now.
She's holding this fire that you've got. I was like, why do we do it to ourselves to wait for the second game? Yeah. And Meeks touched on it after. We just made it hard for ourselves at the end of the day.
Yeah. You can't win footy when you're defending like that.
Yeah.
But in regards to, obviously, Ken, like, outstanding comeback, I think she's obviously put in the work. She's grinded. She flew under the radar. She's missed out, and she's come back hungrier than ever. Couldn't have been more, like...
Done her state proud.
Yeah, couldn't have been more happy for New South Wales to have her back to obviously come out there and do what she did.
Yeah. Emma Tonegado goes into dummy half. Haven't seen her there before. We thought she was coming on as like a loose forward role. Came on at hooker. What did you think?
There was obviously there was a lot of chat that the girls knew that was obviously something that could have happened, and it did. I think it frees up the game a little bit. It's different, but I think it worked for them. It didn't not work.
She was getting out a bit. It just made. I mean, I feel like same kind of thing when she plays at lock as well, though.
She's a threat with ball in hand anyway. So when
we knew what it was going to be. Bring fire, bring electric.
I don't know. Was it a short stint?
Who? Emma?
No,
it was. It was strange. It was hard to keep up because it was like she was obviously on, and then I think her and Keely were rotating, but then I think Keely was off when Jocelyn was on.
I can't.
So that's what I mean. It was a bit confusing.
Emma went to a bit of a lock role.
They did so well, all the players, that I was like,
they just smash into
who's where?
Well. So
everyone's running so fast.
When someone went on, it was just fresh all the time. Yeah, it was
fitting fast.
It was just fresh around the whole park.
Too fast.
The whole entire time. So when someone went on, I was just like, oh,
sorry.
Yeah, no, so we'll go to Queensland.
sorry.
Queensland, obviously, we know Jocelyn didn't get, she was fine. She done her role. That, we'd love to see more from her. Played her part. So then we go to, Sulla. Bashro Sulla.
Oh, she knocked out. Was it Sulla that knocked out Jazzy?
Yeah.
Yeah, coconut look.
Do you know what I said to Jazzy? Unfortunately, you're on the back end of it, whereas usually she knocks herself out. She's actually knocked you out, so sorry, guys. But Salah,
I think just again, someone that's come on and did that role. It was such a great team effort that I'm like, Wow, there's no one really standing out to
I
really make a mistake or
I
anything.
actually love how
or-
Sulla plays. Like, she's aggressive.
Yeah.
And her and Ken are a lot the same.
That's what I felt like. It gave a little Penrith little.
You see Bash Bros.
Yeah, I like the Bash Bros when they get on. Like, they just go after it. They bring the aggression. They really do.
Well, I think Ken is very aggressive. She's already trying to. She comes out with arrogance anyway.
Yeah.
She's not going to let you dick her around, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you have Sulla that's a lot less that big energy, but
She's
she
like,
is
"Oh."
energy in her own right. But she comes out and
A beast.
she just does her job
Yeah.
and does it well.
Yeah.
She's hard to maintain. She's hard to handle, and she just runs with intent every time.
Speaking of doing your jobs, Queensland bench thought they
Chewy,
actually did what they needed to do. Chewy, Sophie Hollyman, Chewy, Mackenzie.
I actually liked our bench.
So did I.
I was really proud of our bench. I feel like
I thought they stepped up compared to
Yeah,
last year when they had the
100%.
opportunities to come on and inject. I didn't think that there was an energy shift. I thought they either matched or fell under, but they come on
they
and
come on
they
firing.
brought Eno.
They came on firing,
Yeah,
and
man,
I think
Chewy's looking fast out there. Just like another Kennedy. I think she came on and surprised me, actually.
Couple of times, bit of late footwork around the ruck,
Yeah.
getting back in.
So
and
behind.
you
good.
know she's got that footwork.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it more, but she's got the footwork, and the fact
Yeah.
that we got to see a bit of that
Yeah, it was
bit
impressive.
of that last night was impressive. But
Yeah.
I was really proud of I was actually really proud of our bench,
Yeah. So
And-
yeah.
how they came on, how they carried themselves.
Yeah.
And it was
And-
hard to come on,
oh.
and it was hard to
It
come
was
on.
hard to come on in
Well,
that
yeah.
game. Obviously, it was neck and neck for a bit there, and
The
then we
second
came
half.
into the second half, and then we blew out in the second half. But I was really proud of our bench.
Well, the blowout, obviously 11 errors to 8 errors. That's not really that much of a difference. What were you saying? Like 56 to 44%. That's also not a huge
46.
46 to 54%. Again, not huge margins, but the missed tackles was 29 to 13. So 29
Norris
missed
will be-
tackles in Origin.
It was
And
similar
Norris
to
will be on it
last year as well.
on the like
game
she'll
one.
be on it with that.
Well, 29 missed tackles in Origin against.
You can't
look
win
at
a
the-
game without. You
But
can't
look
win
at
a
who you're
game when you can't
versing.
when you don't
If
tackle.
you're letting through any, we said it, New South Wales are stars. If you're giving them a missed tackle and allowing an offload, we've seen that try came from an offload, one of New South Wales tries. Like, it's just consistent pressure.
Yeah, well, when I look at it, you give them that many errors, and you put on top of that the missed tackles. It's honestly it's really hard.
Compiling.
It's really hard
Yeah.
to rein it back in with a team like New South Wales, and especially when they're capitalising on everything that they, every moment that they get.
So, okay, let's move on to the spine. So, Taz, we know what she can do on the attack side. We talk about Ali being the GOAT, and I think something that gets left behind for Ali, and I know even when I was playing her, which would have been in her prime when I first started back in like 2020, yeah. Playing her, she just like got under you, put you on your ass, no matter who it was. If she had a back row running at her, whatever. Her stats have improved year on year defensively. She's up at 87% on her last NRLW season, and people want to talk about her getting out of the game. She's past her prime, but her defense is at a career high. So, I think, starting with Queensland, Taz, love what she does in attack, but it just wasn't enough in defense.
Yeah, to make comment on that, obviously I played alongside Taz for a long period of that time, and defensively I didn't find anything. I didn't find it personally an issue.
Yeah.
Because obviously I feel like she complemented my game, and I'm a very defensive player. That was just something that I loved. I loved about the game.
She could roll off you.
And she could roll off the back of that, and I feel like that's what you do as a back rower. Obviously, is it the fact that we had a new incumbent come into the team, and I feel like she had incumbent.
Is that no?
No, a new player, a fresh
Debuting second rower.
debuting second rower for
Yeah.
her first game. She had an amazing game. I'm not going to take that away from her. She had a very, very good game. Defensively, she was perfect. But they sent so much traffic out to her that it was honestly, it was bound to happen. But when it comes to the skip, she's worked on her craft. She's like, I know for a fact, being around her and playing alongside her for a long period of time, like that's something that she genuinely works on. She's always doing reps. She's always getting in there and wanting to do defense. She's made it something that she loves, and that's what I love about Skip, is that if she's lacking in an area, she'll double down on it and she'll get to work. And is that something that Taz might have to do? 100%.
You know what? There's nothing more motivating as a defending player if you see your half take someone down effectively one-on-one. It's, oh my God, I'm up next. Like, my half just done that. It's me. Especially as a forward, you're like, I got to back that up.
Yeah.
If you're on the other side of the field and you're a second rower or you're a half, knowing that they can confidently make one-on-one tackles makes you work harder.
Yeah.
I feel like she would evolve like worlds. Just what it would do for her mentally and what it would do for her team around her if she could just pick up and just clean up and tidy up that defense. Start getting under the ball.
It doesn't need to be the best defender.
No, get under the ball. Don't wrestle. Go for the legs.
Lay someone out.
She's actually strong
so
for a
strong.
little. Yeah, that's what I mean.
She's so strong.
But I feel like that it's just like one of those things, like get under the ball. Don't worry about the wrestle and the get under it.
But I also
put 'em
think
down.
it's one of those things in the women's game where it's like, in the game of football, it's like the halves don't defend.
Yeah.
Because they are little. And
that's why we always have to get at halves.
But when I look at it, if I'm not joking, as a back rower, if you're coming up against the half that can defend, like if I'm coming up against Z, you know she can bang.
Yeah.
So you're in two minds about it anyway, so to speak.
Yeah.
So like if Taz had that under her belt, like.
Yeah.
It was freakish to see what she could do with it.
So we had Taz and Skip. Yeah, it's obviously hard to, I guess, control again. They did good in the first half, but the second half, errors, compiling, it was just really hard for them to probably, ice things, I guess. It just wasn't Queensland's day.
It was hard to inject themselves into the game when they're always trying to play catch up.
When they're working out of their half, you can only do so much.
You can't expect to. You cannot expect to just come up against a New South Wales team, give them the ball that much, and be okay, and not physically be hurt and damaged by that.
Yeah, Lozzie Brown and Meeks. Obviously, Lozzie in at hooker. Thoughts as a forward?
I personally think Lozzie Brown was one of our best players last night. You speak about origin, and you speak about being that dog and having that energy, and I think she obviously I've said it before. Like, you lose experienced players like Shan, myself, and Varney that are big presences. Like, they wear a big presence. I feel like she very much stepped up and took it upon herself to be that mongrel, to have that fire in her belly. She was flying out of the line. She's not the biggest person.
Yeah.
She's not the biggest person. But I felt like she genuinely wanted to be there. She played really.
Yeah.
She played really. For me, she played really well, and I don't have anything that, like, as a hooker, you can nitpick at stuff like that. But I was happy with her game. Yeah. I think she just defensively played her role really well.
What are your thoughts on, obviously, being freaky? I liked when she started getting in at the end of the second half, at the end of the first half, and I thought she was going to come on and do it a bit in the second half as well, because it was really starting to just hold up players for New South Wales. She started getting in at first receiver. She starts drifting across the line, couple of X lines, looking a bit shifty. She does have a good short kicking game. She can link up with her halves then. And she sort of did it for like 2 sets, and then we're like, okay, here we go. Freaky's coming on, and she's going to just take the game by the collar here the second half, but then didn't quite do that. Obviously, again, errors being down in the half. But how did you think, I guess, she went in a game that they're on the back foot, obviously grinding first half and then on the back foot the whole second half? Yeah,
I think Meeks can come off the back of that when the forwards take us forward.
Yeah.
And that's why. So I think when she took the opportunity, it's because we were there.
Yeah.
We were on our good ball. And that's when we seen Freaky be freaky.
Yeah.
But I think...
hard to do on the back foot.
Meeks always injects herself in the game when the forwards do their job.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's just her moment.
Yeah. It was really hard. It would have been really hard for her.
Yeah. Moving on to the New South Wales spine. So we had new look again, Tiana at 6. So a bit of a position change.
I mean, I liked how.
Can't really say anything.
Oh, you can't say anything, but I liked how she was sweeping, it kind of kept us in
Two minds.
and it actually shortens up your defense because you think that there's no one there, but then someone's there, kind of thing. So,
She did it.
I'm annoyed that I'm annoyed about their spine. No,
I'm annoyed about the
but
game.
honestly, I'm annoyed about the game. I'm annoyed about their spine because they played like their team played really well.
Yeah, Jessie Southwell. Back in after, being dropped and not even really looked at in the squad with a Hilda at the helm. Strangies come in, obviously needing a on-the-ball half. Jessie Southwell, did she do that?
She did it.
Yeah. Huh?
She did it.
She did it?
Did it.
Oh, yeah. I was like, she did it.
She
What
did
do
that.
you mean? I think she did really well. And especially like with Tiana not ball playing, she was just an extra number on the right edge, I would say. I think Jessie took control. Her kick placement was outstanding. I think she really stepped up as the half. And I think that's when I go back to Tiana. Would I like to see another half in there? Yes, Tiana should be on the field. Where? I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Because I think they've limited their attack on both sides.
I don't know.
But you can work on like connecting, Southwell coming to the side and connecting with Penatani out the back and using Abby Church, I don't know, to come in. I think, again, Strangey's so good with the whole team and the positions. It's full of stars, and through 1 to 19 or even extending on to the past the 19 is so good. But that would just be me. I think they've got more to give.
It's like, who do you drop? Because everyone's done great, but it's like
I don't see him dropping anyone.
No, I can't either,
But you
and you
can't after
wouldn't.
that
There's
game.
nothing wrong with the team, but it's also scary to think if they unlocked both sides of the field. I think you can play Tiana as a sweeper at centre. She's the best centre in the game. I would say out of the two, you'd probably move Surgis out. I know she top run meters, but if you were going to go this way, again, I'm not saying do this because I don't know who to drop, but you could play Tiana as a second fullback sweeping from centre, because I just think if you have genuine halves on both sides of the ball, both that can kick. Jessie Southwell kicked every single ball.
But Tiana's also played wing.
Yeah, but I think
in the past origin.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think she deserves a centre spot after last season.
And not taking it away from her performance as well.
No.
I just think New South Wales are full of stars and that's still got more to unpack, and that's a scary thing.
I think
I
if
liked
you,
it. I liked how she was sweeping.
If you get two halves though, I honestly think it could have been 50. Like genuine halves on the ball, creating numbers. Tiana's a great runner.
Half?
Jocelyn Kelleher, Kira Dibb. Do you want to?
I think
but I'm saying
full of stars.
Who's going to do that? Who's going to put the 50 that you're saying?
Either. I just said it. Jocelyn Kelleher, Kira Dibb.
Well,
I can't see them putting after.
I'm not saying they're going to change it. I'm saying that. I don't think they should change it. But I'm just saying it's scary to think. I'm agreeing with Shan. It's scary to think if you had two halves constantly on the ball, not as one as a runner, one as a ball player. Jessie Southwell's a runner too. If you had two runners, two ball players, wow, that's scary.
I just think, don't know if this is off topic. Gosh. Queensland hasn't shown any threat of how they can pressure New South Wales yet, so we haven't seen anything break down in this game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just from this game. I'm not saying that they can't, but I was like, imagine if we applied so much pressure, how would that look like?
Yeah.
Well, I think attack-wise, we didn't.
Yeah.
Right, we're going back to Queensland.
I know that's what I said. I don't know if we're off topic, but I was just saying.
We're giving New South Wales their flowers. I know it's hard for you to.
No, but I was just saying there's no
I'm sick
threat.
of the flowers. They've had
no,
enough.
but I said there's no threat that's fully happened.
Coach is over here.
And
no, but
can we change the topic?
Sorry,
no, we're going back to Keely Davis.
Can we move on?
And Abby Church.
Can we move on?
No, we're going to
when
Keely.
would a New South Wales person give us our flowers?
That's why we're different. We're neutral. We're moments. It's
this
about all moments.
It's
not just Queensland moments.
I'm not neutral.
I'm like you said, we
I
are
will never be a
diehard.
New South Wales person.
We are diehard.
I'm not
Queensland.
saying that. I'm saying dissect the game, and from a coaching point of view,
all right,
you can do that.
We've triggered our emotions. We've triggered our emotions.
Whoa.
Okay, go.
We're
But I was saying
tired.
this podcast, to make it very clear, it is a neutral ground for both, and at the end of the day, we're covering women's sport.
Yeah. So Keely Davis.
I don't care.
Well, the summary is
that.
New South
Let
Wales
me
have
go.
been good across the whole park, and
No, that's not what we're talking about.
No, but it is. Every
Keely
player.
Davis, okay?
Keely Davis.
Keely
She's
Davis.
overtaken the
Are we
incumbent
bringing it up?
Australian player. Yeah, we are.
Wait, we're talking about that.
What?
Okay, you
Oh, yeah.
Spicy.
Okay.
Keely Davis.
I've got this. Okay, so Keely, I think she done her job as hooker. There was a lot of questions. Olivia Higgins dropped for Keely. One bad pass. Other than that, again, full of stars.
Moments like that. It was at the start of the game
she did what we said she was going to do.
Yeah.
She ran.
Brought
her forward.
She did her job.
Yeah. And then
She
Abby
did
Church, we've already spoke about Abby.
I didn't see, like, I honestly don't see what more they could work on.
It was such a well-oiled unit.
I don't see what more they could work on.
It was
It's frustrating.
the gears were gearing. John Strange was up
He's
there
got the
just
bike
pulling
in
the
motion.
strings, and it was all singing the song that
He's
he wanted to
genuinely-
sing.
We all
which was
knew
the
he
New
was a
South
great
Wales
coach.
winning
He's got the
song.
choir singing and he's got the bike in motion.
La 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 la.
La 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 la. All right, so I guess from there we're going to talk about Keely. Yeah, Keely, eye gouge complaint. Didn't know who it was, obviously, because her eye was getting gouged. Goes to the ref and says she's had an eye gouge and makes a formal complaint. Isabel Kelly does. After they've scored, and then she's obviously saying on the field, I'm not sure the extent of her injury, but what are your thoughts on
It's
that?
plastered all over social media at the moment.
Oh, yeah, okay. I haven't looked.
They've accused the wrong person for starters.
That was another thing. Like,
Get your facts right first.
Okay.
You accused the wrong person.
Yep.
Understandable.
Your eyes getting gouged. You
Your
can't
eyes
see who
getting
it is.
gouged, You definitely can't see.
Yeah.
But if you can play on in a game, if you can get up and actually see and look around, and your eye isn't falling out of the socket, I just think play on, bro. Like, come on. If we're bringing the game into just to a halt because of someone scratching your eyeball, like, come on.
Yeah, what game are we playing?
It's
a contact
Origin,
sport.
bro. Like, this happens in Origin.
So eye gouge, play on.
Eye gouge, play on. If your eye's not falling out of your socket.
Yeah, okay. So eye out of the socket, formal complaint.
And I know her.
Anything
like
left?
I know her. She'll be having a right laugh now. She'll be having a
Hey,
right
she's
laugh
going,
now.
no second rollers.
You know, I'm standing up for my rights.
Sienna, she needs to go too.
I'm standing up
She's
for my rights.
hilarious. She'll
All
be
right,
having
so-
a right laugh.
To finish off, let's go with our players of the match and our moments of the match. So player of the match, I'll start. I know on the way up we were talking about Battle of the Fullbacks, but when we were here last time, I don't know if we spoke about it, I genuinely did have Izzy Kelly as I thought she'd be up there just because I know her carries. Obviously, Abby Church, I know she would be wanting to help her backs and start her off with a new winger and a new fullback pairing. I think she got the flowers that she deserves. Sometimes the elite players of the game can be overlooked just because they set their standards so high. Robbo's one, you're probably one, it happens a lot, but because you set your standard and your average so high, sometimes I can get overlooked and just like, oh, it's just Izzy doing Izzy things. But no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's her consistently doing what she needs to be done. She is the captain, and I think since she got captain at the Roosters and captain of the Blues, she has rose to another level, and she continues to be that player and be her who everyone knows her as. So that's my player of the match.
Yeah.
She's the pinnacle of like what an actual sportswoman
She's tank.
would be.
It's crazy.
Physically, and is just like obviously a picture of
Yeah.
an Egyptian goddess.
I was going to say on
who's
that.
your player of the
on
match?
that with Izzy.
No, we don't have time.
No,
Just wrap
great.
it up. Go. So who's
Okay.
your player of the match?
Ellie Johnson, because I'm a prop and I love the way that she came out and it's so good. Like, I wish I did it on my debut. Like, it's an awesome performance. It's just a prop thing. I love props doing their things, even though she's in another team.
Debutant leading the pack.
Well done.
Gets it.
That's my player of the match.
I second Shan. Clutch player. She did her job. She came on. She proved everyone, if not like proved everyone wrong. She did it. Then she scored a try. There's not very many debutants that can carry their forward pack the way that she did, in such a big game. And super proud of her. And she'd be my player of the match.
Yep. Let's move on to our moment of the match to finish us off. So, moment of the match. Shan, we'll start with you.
Rory.
Rory.
Her
I
name
think
sounds
because of the
cute.
feeling.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that people watch this? I've never spoken to the girl.
I went up to
But
her
I
last
love
night.
her.
I went
I
up
just
to her
wanna
last
give her a
night. So you
cuddle.
did really
I
well.
spoke to her.
Yeah,
I
you
spoke
gave
to
her a lecture on her food intake. She's like, Auntie, I'm not trying to look
She'll be happy now.
True.
She had an outstanding game.
She had the NO.
I was
Rory-
staring at her in
She's
the
probably
shed
more
and I was like wanting to say something, but my eyes were saying it, and I was like, she's looking at me. I was like, oh, you did really well tonight.
Is that
I
it? Why
felt
didn't
like a
you-
little fangirl.
Why did you not go up to her?
I did go up to
and
her,
give
but I
a
was
hug
staring
and
at her
say
for
you
a
had
bit. I
really
did
good
hug
She
her.
was fangirling.
I did hug her, but I was staring at her and I was like, man, you did so well. I really want to tell you. And then she looked at me and I said, okay, there's my
So
opportunity.
a Rowie debut is your moment of the match.
100%.
Per
She
performance.
got me off my seat.
Yeah.
I was full, finished eating my burger. She got me up. Queensland spirit came alive again in my
Yeah.
stomach.
Taz.
Good on you.
Oh, Robbo, picking the ball out of thin air, the way that she did.
It was.
That was my moments of the match.
Wow.
And I think obviously being in the coach's box, watching it from up there, the atmosphere, it's like
It was
it's too
NFL
cla-
catches.
Like you can't coach that.
In contact.
You cannot coach that under pressure. Every time she delivers, you don't doubt her. She doesn't doubt herself. And for me, like to pluck the ball out of the thin air on your line like that,
Yeah.
like there's too much pressure. You don't do that, and she just does it every time, and just kept showing up. So yeah, that would be my moment.
She's the moment. She's her. She
I
gets
think
it.
the moment
She
gets it. The moment of the match for me would be, and again, it's sort of like a player experience, or player performance, would be the Jamie Frezard's second try. Again, we spoke about it. I'm sure she would have heard, certain things being said. Obviously, her teammates did. Everyone. I feel like you could just see how happy everyone was
She had a
for her.
moment.
The work that she done. The first one was like, yep, sweet. The second one was just like, yeah, girl. Have your flowers. Have your moment. You've done it. You've done your state
did
proud.
it.
You've done
You did
yourself proud. That's why you're in the team. I loved that. I love, that she did get her opportunity and she absolutely shone. So
I agree.
that's it for us today then. We will be back, preview, next Origin Wednesday. This is going to be going live 6 p.m. tonight, and then we will also have our YouTube going up tomorrow. So if you're tuning in, YouTube tomorrow. But thanks, ladies. I know it's obviously very hard to get out of bed this morning, both because of the drive, the car in tow, the loss, but we did it. We're here. We hope everyone's enjoyed
Company.
the recap of the game. I think it was outstanding, and we'll see you all in Sydney. Let's
Let's
go.
push.